I'll go and get it started. Coach, pretty successful past couple of weeks. Go up to Canyon, win the LSC tournament. You say a goal for your program is to always be playing in December. You were playing in December, and you're hosting the South Central Regional. So just talk us through what the past couple of weeks has been like for you and your program.
Well, it's been a lot. There's a lot that's happened since the last time we talked here. We went up and won a championship on someone else's court, and that's hard to do. And I think the number was West Texas A&M was 18-1 going into championship finals, and for us to come away with a win there says something, based on that. And there were 1,000 people there, and probably 40 of them wanted us to win, So it was a great environment though. They were great fans. They know volleyball up there, and so it was a fun match. It was back and forth, and one thing about WT is they don't ever stop playing, and we're up by 6 or 7 in the first set. They come back and win, and I've seen that movie before, and our team really could have just laid down, but they did not. They came back. They came roaring back, really, and really the grit that they showed to be able to do that in a hostile environment like that was great to see, And then being able to host, holy cow! I didn't think that enough things could happen for that to work out, But Metro wins their conference tournament, but they don't get to play the best team. The Mesa, who's number 2 in their conference, loses in the semis. And so we got to play all the best teams in our conference. So it just worked out. Like there's nothing coaching wise I did, to make that happen. It was just it just happened, and I'm excited that we get to host. I hope the community can come out, for 3 days and really make a difference, in the outcomes of these matches. I think it's going to be fun, and we have extra bleachers pulled out, so there's plenty of space. So we hope we can get some people out for those matches.
Coach, what has this season shown you about just the team that you're coaching? What has it shown you just overall as your coaching experience?
Yeah, they're different. I think that they fight. They play within themselves. They're not trying to do things that most of the time I'll say they don't do things that they don't normally do. They just play pretty steady. I think Adeline has been really a steadying force for us as a setter. She keeps our hitters happy. She's a pleaser. She's really hard to rattle. She's always smiling, and our libero play has been spectacular. Callie's been great all year. Our 2 outsides have been really good, and we've had some freshmen really step up and fill some important roles in big situations, and have just played steady. So we're not super flashy. We're not the biggest, most physical team. We've been fortunate to be able to consistently play good volleyball.
How much do you attest your team's tough road schedule to the chemistry that you have seen built on this team this year?
Well, we had some road adventures, not just road travel, where you get stuck on the side of the road, when your bus has a flat tire, and it changes your team, in a really positive way. I would plan for that, I wouldn't want that to happen, but it happened. We're on the road for 4 straight weeks and just had some stuff, and I think it really brought our team together, and it showed that we can be a strong chemistry unit, and play together. And despite the fact that we've got 20 kids on this team and probably 9 or 10 play, that they can still be supportive of each other. I think a lot of that has to do with those experiences we had preseason.
How do you feel about your opener, the first team that you're going to play here at regionals?
Colorado Christian is a good team. They're on a roll. They won their way into the regional tournament. They beat some really good teams, and teams that were ranked ahead of them, teams that were in the regional, and they knocked one out. So I mean, they've got some nice players. Bobby, their head coach, he's a great coach. He gets a lot out of his team, every single year, and so it's no walkover. That's for sure. We're gonna have to come out and compete because they've got some good kids that can score. They play tough defense. They serve tough. So every match in this regional, just looking across the board, is just like they're all going to be knockdown, drag-out type matches, and I expect no less.
Coach, your previous trip to Canyon, prior to the tournament, of course, took a 3-0 sweep to the Lady Bugs. What was different, aside from the outcome, of course, what was different within your team that you saw in maybe the competition or whatever it was, compared to that match where you lost 3-0 to this one where you took the win in the championship?
Well, that's a good question. Our focus was different. I think we went up there on a mission, but I really think either of those teams could have won. We win the semifinal in a 17-15, 5-set thriller, to a really, really good UT Tyler team. One swing either way, and that match is over in the other direction. So I just think that our team believes in each other, and I think that, we went up there the first time and they played lights out. And we were on our heels. Our mentality, our approach to the game was different than any other game that we had. So I think our mentality was much better. I think we came in with an expect to win mentality, and it really just, you set the tone from the service line. Your first contact is everything in volleyball, and I think we handled that part of the game really well, and so I felt like we could apply a little more pressure than we did the first time. WT is talented across the board. They can score in every position on the court, and we made it just a little harder this time than we did the first time. So I think that was probably the biggest difference.
And then last week of the regular season, you talked about how your team took a little playoff mentality in those last two matches against DBU and UT Tyler. Do you think that kind of helped your team mentally throughout the tournament?
Well, there was a lot on the line in those matches, for everybody. Tyler was tied with us in second place. DBU was pushing and had some high-quality wins in the region, So those matches had that playoff feel, like that postseason feel, and we stayed with that mentality. We carried it through, and it's a good thing because we needed every bit of that, to be in the position we're in right now. So our team is excited about the opportunity. I'm excited to be in front of our home crowd. My family gets to watch us play, which is great. So, but there's no easy path for anybody in this regional this weekend, and so we got to be ready to go.
And then, of course, you kind of touched on it with how it meant to the team, but what does it mean to you personally? And of course, again, you also just touched on it. What does it mean to you personally to be able to host this regional again?
Well, it means I get to sleep in my own bed. Same for our team. You don't have to live out of a suitcase for a week and travel and do all that stuff. Now there are distractions when you're at home. There's no question about that. There are other things that can get in the way, and so we have to do a good job of really just staying like-minded and staying, kind of singularly focused on what we're trying to do. But I like the fact that, we've had great crowds all year long, all year. We've set records this year for attendance and for Angelo State volleyball. And we get to reward those fans with another opportunity to come out and watch us play. I love that. I love the fact that they, thought they were done watching us play. And, after our regular season was over, everybody kept asking me, we're going to get another home game. We're going to get another home game. I'm like, I don't know. We'll see, And so we get to reward those fans with another home game, at least one, hopefully 3, But I just love this community and the support that it gives when it comes to stuff like this. And I'm expecting 2,000 people in this arena on Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday if we get there. So no pressure. Just, we really do. We want to see you out there because this team is fun to watch, and I'm glad we get to play in front of our home crowd at least one more time.
And Coach, I want to ask about Callie. She got named Libero of the Year. Long overdue in my opinion, but what's it like for you to see someone who's been here all 4 years, who came in, didn't really play a lot that first year, and someone who's kind of grown from a reserve role into a leader of this program?
Well, without a doubt, she's put the work in. She is absolutely that kid that comes early and stays late. When she has a weakness, she's going to do everything she can to fix it and make it a strength. And I can't think of another player that has been more committed to what she's trying to do and to try to help this team win than she has in my 17 years. Now, there have been players that have matched that for sure, but she's among the best when it comes to I'm gonna just try to be great, and I I appreciate that in her because it's catchy, she's not the only one in here, so she has set a tone as a leader. Like, she was a captain as a sophomore, and so she's a 3-year captain, and she sets a standard and holds people accountable to that standard, and that's hard to do, you know, for that long, because sometimes you got to be the bad guy, and she has embraced that role and handled it in her way and her leadership style. But she's a do as I do, not as I say. You know, she's going to put herself out front and do the work and let everybody know that if I'm willing to do it, you should be too. And we're gonna miss her like crazy, you know, for a lot of reasons. And but I'm so proud of her for just staying the course, you know, putting in the time and reaping the benefits of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.